Welcome to TechbrothersIT. In this video, we are going to learn about database migration service in G Cloud. Now, we can use this service to migrate the data between our MySQL instance to another MySQL instance, or from a Postgres to another Postgres instance. Here, what I want to do, I would like to have MySQL 5.7, and then I would like to migrate to the MySQL 8. And both of my instances are gonna be on the cloud. They will be cloud SQL instance. You can also use the on-premises MySQL and then migrate to the cloud MySQL instance as well. Now there could be multiple reasons. Let's say you just want to migrate from 5.7 to the 8 and you would want the minimum downtime. So this could be one of the scenario. The both instances are on cloud, and you are in this scenario where you would like to migrate them because of the migration and upgrading the version of your MySQL to the latest one, but you don't want or you want the minimum downtime for that. That could be one of the scenario. Another one could be the scenario when you have one instance with a disk that's a large size, and you have noticed that like your tables are small, you have deleted some tables, and now your actual disk size usage is way smaller, but what is allocated to the MySQL instance or Postgres instance. In this case, you can create an you will use the database migration services, and then in the when you are creating the destination, you will tell the disk size to be smaller as compared to your source. And then use the database migration services to move your all the data to the new instance with the smaller size of the disk. Another way you can shrink your disk size of MySQL or Postgres is you will be creating the Google ticket, and they will put your MySQL instance or Postgres instance down for some time and shrink, and that they will be doing some during the work hours that you want to avoid. So maybe you want to use the database migration service instead. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look here what we have, and we will move from there. So first of all, I'm in the console.cloud.google.com here, and I am in the, if you go right here, I went to the SQL, and then in the SQL I have this instance MySQL 5.7 instance. The public IP is enabled in my case. You can also have a private IP enable and all that. You can watch my other videos how to create the MySQL instance and all the parameters and all the configuration, how it work with my previous videos. That's available. Now what we are going to do here, we are going to create our database and a table here. So I'm not going to connect with the MySQL Workbench and all that. I'm going to use the open Cloud Shell here and perform those actions right here with the command line now. Okay, so we are all set here. We are going to go ahead and hit enter, and now we will be providing the password and we will be connecting to our MySQL. Okay, let's go ahead and provide our password here, and I'm going to provide the password, and we are connected to MySQL. So let me expand this one a little here so you can see right here, and we will say show databases, and it's going to show us the list of the databases. Now there is no user database. I'm going to go ahead and create a user database. You can create multiple user databases, so that's not a problem. I'm going to call this one test, and now I will say use test, and then we will say create table, and I'm going to call this table customer, and ID integer, name varchar. Very straightforward table, has only 2 columns. And insert into customer, and values I will say 1, and name is equal to Amir, and just we will select the data from this table, and we should be good to go. You can see right there our customer table has one record. Now as you guys remember that this is our 5.7 MySQL. I want to migrate this whole thing to the another version, and that will be my MySQL 8. I can create another database if I want. It's not a problem. As I said that you can have more databases as well. So it's going to migrate all the databases for you. Now let's go here on the console.cloud.google.com here and look for the database migration, and you can simply go in the drop down and search for it. I like it going this way. So migration, sorry, not jobs, migration. Let's go to here, so you will see the first page. Okay, so we search for database migration, is searching, and it is asking, hey, you wanna enable it? Yes, I need to enable this API so I can make it work. So you see right there, once we enable this API, it's gonna let us use the database migration service. Okay, our database migration API is enabled, and we are all good here. So what we can do, we are gonna go to the dashboard again or search for database migration here. So let's I will just simply go back here in the search, and we can search for database migration. And now we are all good here. When we will do database migration, it's going to bring us on this page, API and services, and you will see enable APIs. Then you have library, credential, and every like jobs, whatever you have here. So it's going to show you all that information. So the very first step, people can go and create the profile first, and or they can go and create a job directly. I'm going to go ahead and start creating a job. Whatever it asks, we will provide, and we'll get it done. So we create a migration job here, and we know that our source is MySQL 5.7. So I'm going to call this one TB a migration job, and it has created a unique name here, or just a migration job name, so it is helpful. And now you're going to tell like which source you have. If I will say MySQL, that's mean on-premises MySQL. Here I am not using Amazon or anything, so I'm using Cloud SQL for MySQL. So if you guys already have seen that, I'm on GCP and I'm using MySQL. That's what I need to use. Okay, so if you see right here, you have multiple options. You can select the source as Oracle or Cloud SQL for Postgres, Amazon for Postgres, and all that. So you can have a lot of choices. There would be more choices coming in the future, so just keep looking for them. So Cloud SQL for MySQL. I selected that one. It doesn't really ask me, hey, what is your source, because it's gonna ask me next part. And migration, there are two types. You have continuous and you have one time. I'm going to do continue, and this is a change data capture. So anything I will write on the source, it will be keep writing on the destination. That's what I want. In the one time, what it will do, it will take a snapshot of the source, migrate it to your destination as a full dump and load. So there is no ongoing changes or replication happening. So we want to go for continuous because we want to write some data and test and all that. Now here, these are the very important part. You might be struggling here for a couple of hours if you would not pay attention. So you need to provide all the permissions and see what exactly have to be done. Look for this one. So here it tells you all the details and permission and everything. And I have actually written the script, so I'm gonna provide in the description. So those are all like a select, show view, and execute permissions. I have already written the script for that. So I'm gonna create a user and give them the permission on the source. So let's go back, and we are going to create the replication user, and this can connect from any IP. So and the password is the test123. So I'm going to create this user. Let's go back here. Now we are in the source. Just I'm going to control V and hit enter. Okay, our user is created. Now what we are going to do, we are going to provide these permissions. You can write the permission in the same line. Somehow I just put in multiple lines for more readability. Okay, so now we provide select permission, and then we are going to go for next one. Then we are going to say show grant. Because I have configured this multiple time, and I struggle a lot with once even one permission is missing, then it is hard, like which permission is missing, and you keep struggling for it because errors, you have to keep looking for errors. And we will do flush privileges. Okay, and if you want to see like your user, you can always say user comma host from mysql.user. That's it's going to show you our replication user is right here. So you're going to say show grants for, and you can always take a look what type of permission you have granted in case you miss something. So use show grants for and your username, and it's going to show you all that. So actually, as you can see, you can simply copy this one, keep this for future, and always change your user, and these are all the permission you need. All good here. Let's go back here to the migration, and then what we are going to do, it's going to ask for connectivity, how we want to connect to our source. So there are multiple ways you can do the IP allow list, and you can do the SSH tunnel, you can use VPC pairing if you have a private IPs enabled and all that. So depending upon your scenario and security you have, you can use one. I'm going to go ahead and allow the IP part of it. So we hit save and continue. In the next window or tab, it's going to ask us to define a source. If you guys remember that we didn't create the profile first, so it is a kind of, we have to create the profile for our source. It is asking you haven't created the profile, so fine. I'm gonna go ahead and create new profile, and in the profile is nothing really fancy. It's just the information for our source. So it is asking, hey, which Cloud SQL instance you have? We have MySQL 5.7, that's what we use. And now it is asking us, okay, is this a host IP? Okay, so it took the IP and everything automatically actually. So if I go back here and show you guys right here, you can see this is the IP. So you can see right there, this is IP, this is the port, and it is going to ask for the user. So if you guys remember that we have user name repl, that's what we created, and we can provide the password. So that I'm gonna just copy the password. This is test123. So when you connect to the source, which user and password you would like to use, and that's what we would like to use. We have given permission on our source SQL MySQL to the replication user. I call it REPL, right? Now this is all good, and we are gonna go ahead and you can this is your instance profile name. If you want to say underscore profile or something like that, you can add it and follow some naming convention. I will just remove that. It's not allowed underscores, so just leave it as is. Okay, our profile is created, and you have multiple options here. You can see right, that's your instance profile ID, you have IP, you have port and the user and all that. Now there are multiple options you have. Choose where to initially dump your data. So if you see right here, we will automatically generate the initial data dump on your behalf once the migration is created and started. So I'm going to use that one. I don't really have a dump file created by myself. That's why I'm going for this one. Okay, second option, if you have a strong reason to create a dump on your own, you can do so. Okay, and then you have a path here. You can provide your dump file here. In my case, I'm going to just go with this one. Let it create automatically and go from there. So you have you can configure some dump file filters here. You can add those flags and everything. In my case, I'm fine with the default. Okay, now it is asking us the destination. So we have to tell what destination. So it is creating a new MySQL instance. See right there. So Cloud SQL for MySQL. I'm going to call this one MySQL 8. And I'm going to give the password for root. So let's give a very strong password. And you have to select the version. Remember that my old version is 5.7 for my MySQL, but I want to upgrade, right? So I'm going to go ahead and do for 8.0. So that's fine. Now I can do multi-zone or availability single zone. So that's all my options. I'm going to go with the public IP, and here I'm going to select custom. I'm going to go with the 2 and 8 GB. Okay, so let it be. And now I'm going to go with SSD, but only for 10 GB. If you remember here, my first instance, if you guys remember here, I want to show you. This instance has 100 GB. And this instance I am given a less disk because I'm paying for more money, and my activity is not that whole lot, so why to pay more money? But I'm gonna leave in enable automatic storage increase. Okay, so we are good here, and it is asking creating a destination database will automatically launch a new SQL instance. You will be billed. Yes, I'm agree for it. Create destination and continue. It's going to take a couple of minutes, maybe it's more. So let's wait for it, and then we'll go for next. So if you see here, there is a message. It says creating an instance for your destination database. You can continue once complete, so which will take few minutes. In meanwhile, you can choose how to connect. So here are a couple of options. We have accesses within Google Cloud Network. If you are using private IPs and all that. In my case, I'm going to go with the allow access from external networks, not secure, but I'm going to use with the public IP. So once I have public IP, what I have to do, I have to take that IP and add to my public IP list in the source side. So this is our destination that is creating right now. So just wait for it, and then we will add back to the source. Okay, our destination is created. You can see right here, and also the destination outgoing IP is given to us. So I'm going to copy this IP. I'm going to go to my source here, and that's our source. If you guys remember, that's MySQL 5.7. Now what I need to do here, I'm going to go ahead and click edit, and then I'm going to add this in the allow list. So right here we go to the connections, and here we are going to add some that IP, add networks, and I'm going to call it migration IP. Okay, and that should do it. Hit open and done, and now we should hit the save button. So once it's saved, we will see right there it's working right now. Instance is being updated. Let it complete. Okay, that's done, and now what we are going to do, we are going to go back to our tab here and continue with the database migration wizard. Looks like it's all done. It is telling us the job name, it is telling us the source database, and then telling us the port, IP, and all that, and there's showing us the IP that we have added to the source. This is for a destination outgoing IP. Now we can test our job here, and hopefully it will go well, and we will not face any issue. We have already provided all the permissions what were needed on the source to the repl user. So you see that your migration job test is successfully, everything great, communication is happening fine, and now we have option to create the job and start later, or we want to create and start right away. I'm gonna go ahead and create and start job right away. So yes, go ahead and see, starting the migration job will begin with the full dump process on the source. This may take put load on your source database. That's fine. Go ahead and create and start. As you guys remember that I don't have a whole lot databases, and my sizes are pretty tiny. Even it's less than even one, maybe 10 MB or something like that. But if you are doing this one for some large size server, you might want to start at night, and then let it do the full dump here, and once it's done, by the morning probably you will have just a CDC going on. It's just any changes to the tables, they will be happening. Right now you can see right there is the job is starting, and the duration is 30 seconds. Now while the job is starting, let's go back to our SQL Cloud tab here, and what you're gonna see few things. Now let this open, and if you notice here, it has created a read replica, and this is just external primary has been created, and then the read replica is added to it, and the size is 10 GB. You can see right there. So that's when you create a database migration job, this is what happened. So it create your external primary, and then it will add the SQL replicas that we just added to MySQL 8. So now the data will be moving from MySQL 5.7 to this MySQL 8. That's what's happening right now. And this is a read only, so you can't do anything to this guy. This is totally read only. Okay, now we go back here, and the job is full dump in progress right now, and then once it's done, then it will be restoring and all that, and we should be seeing some progress. So you can click on the job itself as well. So now running CDC in progress. So all the dump is done, and it is telling you the status, and you can see the logs here. You can see the monitoring for 6 hours, 10 hours, whatever you want to see. You can see right there as well. So see right there, that's where storage use in total bytes. You can see right now we have very small storage. Really, we don't have a whole lot records. That's fine, and our CDC process is running as well. So let's go back here on the MySQL, and you see right there. So we have MySQL here. I'm gonna go ahead and say select start from customer, and if you remember, we had only one record. So let me open another tab here, and we can try to connect to the MySQL 8. Here I have opened a new tab, and I'm gonna go ahead and click on MySQL 8, and this is our read replica, as you guys know that. So now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna use the Cloud Shell as well to connect to it, and we can read some data. So right here, connect, fine, and actually I'm gonna exit from here. Exit. So let's see one more time. I'm gonna go ahead and connect here. Okay. Now it's gonna ask us password and everything, and once it's done, then we'll be good to go and take a look on this one. Okay, let's provide the password, and this is our destination or read replica. So show databases, there should be more databases here. Show databases. Okay, what, I'm typing it totally wrong. Okay, so we have test and test one as well, and now I can use the test, and if you remember, there is a table, we called it customer. So now if I will select the data from the customer, there is one record available. Now as you guys can see that I'm connected with the MySQL 8, and how I can make sure here, because this is read replica, so if I will say drop database and test, it should tell me no, you can't do that. The MySQL server is running with the super read-only options, and you cannot do anything like that. So I cannot drop a table as well. So if I want to drop the table, I cannot drop. So that's how I know that this is my read replica here after connecting from the G Cloud. Now that's just fine. I'm gonna open the other tab here, and let me close this one. So you see right there, and still CDC is running, and if I want to add more record to it, I can go ahead and do it. So let me go back, and if I want to connect with the MySQL 5.7, I'm gonna go with the G Cloud again, and then I will be inserting a record. So it's, if you remember, I have to do Control C here, and I have to click on 5.7 Cloud Shell. So just this one. Now hit enter, and it's gonna ask me password. So right now we are going to connect to our source here. So you can see right there MySQL 5.7. Okay, so let's provide the password once it's asked. Let's provide the password, and now we are all good. Here I'm gonna use the test database, right? So go to test here, and now we can say select start from customer, and this table has one record. We can insert the data into customer, more records, values 2, and I'm gonna call this one migration done. Okay, now select the data again, and you can see there are 2 records. Now we have to connect back to 8 to see this record, and you can see right here I'm in the 5.7 MySQL 5.7. So if remember that we have more databases, and if I want to go ahead and drop the database here, it's gonna let me drop the database. So because this is read write, this is my source, but the other one we have just read replica. So database is dropped, show databases, that test one is gone. Okay, so databases, not database. Okay, so we are all good. We have to, let's do Control C here, and now we need to connect to our MySQL 8 to see the changes. So click on MySQL 8, and here, if you remember the query, you just type it, but sometime I just don't remember. So right now it's the MySQL 8. So G Cloud SQL connect MySQL and username root, and then provide. Now I'm connecting to my read replica. That's MySQL 8. And if you go right here in the replication, you're gonna just see not a whole lot. You're gonna see really here. We don't have like a lot of activity going on, like records inserted and all that. You can see right there, storage use in the total bytes. So if I just added one more record, it's not gonna do anything. But if you are inserting a lot of records, you're gonna see that. And migration type is continuous, and it is running in CDC. Now you can stop the migration as well. So let's say you want to go ahead and stop. You have choice to stop it. Stopping this migration will stop the replication process until you choose to resume. Note that stopping for a prolonged period can result in a lost bin log position while require restarting the migration job from the beginning. So make sure you don't leave this in stop mode for 5 days, and like you're doing a lot of activity on the source side, and then you say, oh, let me start, and it should pick up from there. There could be possibility like point in time recovery and bin logs and all that can involve, and you will have issues. So with me, I don't have any issue. I can just stop for 30 minutes, come back. My database is small, and now it is stopped. But our record is already replicated because we were not in stop mode at that time when we were working on this one. So use let's show databases, and first of all, you see that the test one is gone from the read replica as well because we deleted on the source side. Now I'm going to say use test, and now here I'm going to say select star from customer. You saw that data is replicated and everything is great, and now still we are in our replica is in read, and what we can do if we want to, we can promote this one as a write. So if I go back here and let me say show databases, and you can see that drop database or test is not going to be possible as it is a read. Let me actually try to insert the data. Insert into customer and values. So values 3, comma, insert test value. Okay. So you can see that it is not letting me because it is in the read. Now if I can go back to the database migration job here, and you can see that I stopped, I can resume it as well. So let's resume it, and then what we will do, we will promote. So the promote replica to the right is not really like it has to be resumed or stop first. So it can be in a resume mode, or it can be in a stop mode, and or it can be actually started mode, and you can simply promote. So we are resuming right now just to make sure everything is working between the source and destination. And now I'm going to go ahead, and this is my cutover time, so I will go ahead and promote. So what's going to happen is going to promote that read replica to the read writer. Now it is disconnecting from the source and destination, so it's working right now. And let's go back here, and if we go back here on the main tab, so now you see that this it came out of this master MySQL. So it was under this MySQL external master, and now it is becoming as an individual read write replica. And finally it is online right here. And let me go back here. Now you can go ahead and insert the value. It's trying to connect again. So if it might ask us username and password again, but right now it's trying to connect. But you can see right there is a totally read write replica. And while it's trying to reconnect, I'm gonna go ahead and show you this window. So you can see right there completed promote in progress. So this is done, and we can simply now go ahead and delete this job because we really don't need to use this job anymore. We can simply click here and go ahead and delete. We can do that, and also go to profile, and we can delete the profile right here as well. So we can delete all these objects what used by the data bias migration. So let me do Control C here, and I'm gonna go back to MySQL, and let me connect one more time here. so that might be faster. And see, it is connecting to the MySQL 8. Okay, it is asking us password. I'm going to provide the password, and now we are all good. Show databases, and it should show us test database, and I'm going to use test, and inside the test we have customer table, and now we should be all good. Insert into customer values 3 comma test, and that should work just fine. So you see right there it worked, and now it has the 3 records because it's a read and write replica now, or a MySQL instance, not really replica anymore. So this is all done, and you can see, come back here, and if you are here, you can simply go ahead and delete this MySQL external primary. I'm gonna click right there, delete, because this is not needed anymore. And we can also clean up our database migration job, so that will do it as well. So let's go back here, we'll delete this, simply delete, and then we will go to the jobs here, and if you want to keep it for a while, maybe just for history or checking a few things, that's fine, but I don't need this anymore, so I'm gonna go ahead and delete. Okay, so this should take care of everything. And see right there, now we have MySQL 5.7 as a source and MySQL 8 as our new instance, but the size is also I have shrank while I was migrating, so I use only 10 GB hard disk instead of 100 GB hard disk. So this could be used for shrinking your hard disk and in the G Cloud SQL instances. I thank you very much for watching a video, and I will see you guys in the next video. I will put the scripts for creating a user and everything in the description, so you can use it. Thank you and have a good one.